Most of the time when someone upsets us, we have to try and be the bigger person. We move on, turn the other cheek, and generally just try to ignore whatever annoying thing the other person is doing. With that said, sometimes you can't help but get your revenge. And the best revenge is obviously the hilarious kind. That's right, today we're counting down the funniest ways people have taken revenge. So buckle in and try not to get any ideas. Getting your possessions stolen sucks, and most of the time there's no way to get revenge on the thief. However, when Mark Bow's laptop was taken, he figured out the best way possible to get it back. He hacked into his laptop remotely and found a super embarrassing video of the thief dancing in front of the webcam. He uploaded it to YouTube, and sure enough, the thief returned the laptop, begging him to take the video down in return. Spoiler alert, he didn't. Everyone knows that some airlines suck at keeping your stuff safe. I mean, either you get your luggage back damaged or you don't get it back at all. So what do you do about it? Well, if you're the Canadian musician Dave Carroll, you make a viral song about your guitar getting damaged by the airline. The best part about this story is that the song got so popular that the value of the company dropped by 10%, causing a loss in value of a whopping $180 million. Divorce can be hard enough when the split is amicable, but when one partner is feeling petty, things can get downright painful. With that said, it's hard not to chuckle at this ex-wife's revenge for the $50 legal fee her husband charged her for. Not only did she pay up in pennies, but she left a sassy note explaining just how much better her life was without him. Pretty brutal, right? Some of these revenge stories are funny and lighthearted, but this one is deadly serious. When this man was sentenced to jail time for abducting, molesting, and drowning a little girl, he was unlucky enough to find himself in prison with one of her relatives. The relative made him choose between being stabbed or tattooed, and when the guy chose the second option, he walked away with a permanent reminder of his victim's name. The best thing about this story is that this woman decided to take revenge on a total stranger just because he was being an awful human. When she overheard him laughing with friends about his affair and how stupid his wife was, she posted his picture for all to see, so hopefully his wife finds out. Matching tattoos for couples are pretty risky, but they do make for great revenge. When this girl found out her boyfriend had been unfaithful, she convinced him to get matching tattoos as a symbol of love, but went home without holding up her end of the bargain. Now he just has a reminder of what not to do next time. If you're comfortable being mean to animals, then chances are you're a bit of a lowlife. So it's hard to feel sorry for this dude who kicked a dog, even if the dog and all his friends came back to completely trash his car as revenge. Nothing ruins your day quite like dropping your phone in the bath. Except getting cheated on, of course. So this woman had the perfect revenge for her lying lover. She made sure both he and his tech ended up in hot water. Okay, fair warning, this next story is disgusting. But then again, so is using someone else's toothpaste. This guy obviously couldn't stand people dipping into his stuff, so he replaced his toothpaste with, well, his stuff. Gross, but effective. I doubt anyone will steal his toothpaste again. All the best cards contain surprises like money or gifts, but not all surprises are good. This dude got a nasty shock when he opened this one. Not just his house key, but also a lifetime of lying thrown back in his face. Ouch. Some revenge is subtle, and some just isn't. This welcome home banner definitely isn't what you want to see when you get home from a hard day of work, but it does let everybody know exactly how much trouble you're in. Speaking of giant, not subtle revenge, the only thing better than a banner is a billboard. This way, your husband definitely can't avoid that awkward conversation about what he's done, and the writing is quite literally on the wall. Now for a cop who was so disgruntled about being served divorce papers by his estranged wife, he decided to fill his wife's hot tub with manure. That's gotta stink. This guy ended up with a $100,000 lawsuit for his revenge. But personally, I think it might be worth it. When he found out his girlfriend had cheated on him with his best friend, he didn't say a word, but he did tweak her tattoo design ever so slightly without telling her. If you ever want to prank your roommate, you have to be prepared for the revenge prank that's probably heading your way. This guy was stupid enough to fill his friend's room with pink balloons and ribbons, so he came home to a room completely wrapped up for Christmas, paper snowflakes included. How petty are you? Because no matter how petty you might think you are, I don't think you've quite hit buy the house next door to your ex-wife just to put a huge swearing statue right where she can see it levels. Honestly, if that is his revenge for getting a divorce, I'm not sure they should have been married in the first place. Now part of me feels bad because this guy was just doing his job, but the revenge idea is pretty genius. These artists obviously weren't happy that their street art was covered up, so they painted in the guy who was responsible. Now he's on the wall forever, or until he paints over it again. So it turns out that giant diggers have more uses than just digging holes and moving dirt around, and one of them is revenge. Curse at a dude who asks you to move your truck? Well then don't complain when you're trapped in a portable toilet by a digger claw until you learn some manners. So this revenge is mostly accidental, but it's still pretty epic. This water bottle stealer probably got the shock of their life when they realized they were drinking way more than just water. And by way more, I mean a healthy dose of estrogen. Oops. Everyone knows that feeling of rage when you see someone parking like an idiot, but not everyone can act on it. Thankfully, these guys could, and use their own vehicles to trap this guy and teach him a very helpful lesson about considerate driving. This is kind of a brutal revenge strategy, but it's a pretty quick way to find out the truth. When this girl found condoms in her partner's car, she had a spicy idea, and quickly confirmed that him needing to help out his mom was actually code for something way less wholesome. Humans aren't the only creatures capable of revenge, and sometimes animals have even better ways of getting their own back. This horse wasn't too happy with the hairstyle their owner decided to give them, and they made that clear by spitting in their shoes. Before I reveal the next example, you should subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. We upload amazing fact-filled list videos daily. Also, make sure to click that bell icon to stay updated, or you'll regret missing out on some amazing knowledge that could have filled your brain. Now let's get back to it. Homophobia isn't cool, and being homophobic to a family member is even worse. Thankfully, when this dad was mean to his gay daughter, she had the best revenge idea possible and gave him a bumper sticker that's way more progressive and hilarious than he is. Parking in a disabled parking spot when you don't need one is a super low move, so I'm not even mad that this guy got what was coming to him. Also, this post-it note trick is artistic, harmless, and super annoying all at once, making it the perfect kind of revenge. Leaving your dog in a hot car isn't just mean, it's also downright dangerous. Thankfully, this pet was well enough to show exactly what it thought of its owner's treatment by leaving them the kind of present they definitely wouldn't be happy to receive. What a good dog. Living statues have to put up with a lot of nonsense while not moving a muscle, but sometimes someone pushes you way too far. This performer stayed super calm at first, but when this tourist wouldn't stop bothering them, they broke character to get some much deserved revenge. Here's another case of someone parking like a total idiot, and another great way to get revenge. If this happens at your local hardware store, all you need to get your own back is a zip tie and a shopping cart, and somewhere to hide when the person notices what you've done. Parking your car in front of a fire hydrant isn't just inconvenient, it could also put people's lives in danger. I don't know if there was actually a fire in this case, but either way, I think this revenge is perfectly justified. Here's a tip: never ever call your wife a sandwich maker. If you do, you might get exactly what you asked for, but with one unpleasant twist. Personally, I think this revenge is actually kinda tame. There are so many ways to get creative when it comes to giving your partner a meal to remember. I've already said that getting a tattoo of or with your partner is a dangerous business, but sometimes what's done is done. With that said, turning your cheating girlfriend's portrait into an awesome devil that shows just how evil they really were is a pretty good strategy for dealing with inky regret. Publicly shaming your partner isn't usually a nice thing to do, but like I've already said, if they cheated on you, they deserve it. Plus, if they took your seats at a sports game, then they double deserve it. So feel free to call them out on the biggest screen you can find. Speaking of cheater revenge pranks, this is a good one for if you can't face speaking to your partner again. Not only does this person name and shame, but she does it in public and leaves him with credit card debt and some lost car keys to boot. Friendly neighbor rivalries happen all the time, but by the looks of it, this one wasn't too friendly. This dude managed to make his neighbor so angry that they had to retaliate, and they decided to get their own back by fencing off the dude's garage. Best of all, the neighbor actually owned it, so the poor guy can't even take him to court. I've got to give this person credit, because this kind of revenge takes a lot of work. Basically, when they noticed someone had dumped a bunch of trash in the middle of the road, they dug through it to find the address of the person responsible and dropped the rubbish right back on their doorstep. This is more karma getting revenge than anything, but it's still pretty funny to watch. I mean, if you're enough of a Grinch to destroy a random snowman out of nowhere by stomping on it, then you probably deserve to fall flat on your face. Poor snowman. Everyone has had at least one boss who's a total jerk, but most never get to take their revenge. However, this intern finally snapped and boxed into his boss's office with enough packing peanuts to be finding them around the building for months. I'm guessing he either quit or was fired straight after this, but it's still totally worth it. There have been quite a few double parking revenge stories in this list, but I think this one might be my favorite. I don't know whether a store employee or annoyed customer did this, but either way, this poor guy is boxed in for the foreseeable future. Plastic wrap is every prankster's best friend, and when it comes to revenge, it works pretty well too. This girlfriend didn't break anything or leave any hostile notes around town. She just made sure everyone knew that her partner had done something wrong, including him. Kicking a dog is almost as low as stealing candy from a baby, so it's kind of satisfying to see the animal get revenge. This poor dog was just trying to chill out by the beach, but it kept getting kicked in the stomach, so it treated the girl like it would a bone and tried to bury her in the sand. Do you have any petty revenge stories, big or small? What about a prank you did that maybe took things a little bit too far? Let me know in the comments section down below, and have an awesome day.